Is Donald Trump going to be arrested? Is America banning TikTok? What happened with GameStop today? Let's get into all that and more. What is going on, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I'm here with Prime Patrick from Pennyboy Stock Alerts. How are we doing, Patrick? What's going on, Patrick? How are we doing? Good, good. We're going to be talking about a lot of fun stuff today.
Can you check to see, am I in the Discord?
What's that?
Am I still in the Discord? Can you check? Because I think my wife's
computer. You're in the Discord. You're in the Discord. You're a little. There you go. All right. So I'm here, Prime Patrick. We're gonna be talking about a whole bunch of fun stuff. Talking about the possible Donald Trump arrest, TikTok possibly being banned. GameStop had a big run today. We'll be talking about that. Is it meme season all over again? Let's get into that first. You know, I know you are from. We're from Pennyboy Stock Alerts. We probably have some people here watching from Pennyboy Stock Alerts as well. What's going on with GameStop? I know that you were sending me some big gains that you personally had. What happened today?
Well, I mean, so GameStop, as anybody knows, is the daddy of the meme stock. It's where a lot of us fell in love with stock trading. It's where a lot of us got our hearts broken with stock trading, and it's been kind of a turbulent lifespan for them, with a bit of a boring kind of stagnation over the last couple of months. But today, after hours, really, it's been boring for like a year. Today, after hours, they spiked up over 50% in after hours, over 50%, which is obviously insane. I mean, it's not insane for GameStop because that's kind of what they're known for. But I mean, anytime you see any stock move, especially with one with that much pulp culture or power, 50%, I mean, it's wild. Now, there's a lot of speculation on why exactly. I mean, the main catalyst is because of earnings. They did report earnings today, and they beat earnings. But to be honest, it wasn't entirely crazy for them to beat earnings. They normally they normally miss earnings, but this was Q4. So that's when everybody's buying, games and consoles for Christmas. So it's not that wild to think that they were going to beat it. So, I mean, who knows? It could be because credit Suisse is going down. Could be just, public sentiment. But once GameStop starts moving, it's hard for it to stop. And then it really starts moving all the other meme stocks.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, GameStop has that whole army behind them, like a lot of those meme stocks. And I'm just wondering, is this, for all the degens out there, this is prime season for them. But for those who are just getting into the market, those who are still trying to get their trading psychology in check, what kind of advice do you have to a new trader seeing all these big, if maybe they missed out on it today, these big green candles from GameStop, everyone talking about it probably on Facebook, probably on stock twits and Weeble comments. What's your advice to someone like that?
Sure. I mean, it's hard to really give solid advice on something like GameStop because it doesn't trade like anything else when it's doing this. Just full disclosure. I mean, GameStop is where I've made tens and tens of thousands of dollars, over 75,000 on GameStop, but I've also lost, several thousand while I was trying to figure out how to trade it properly. The main thing that I would say that my lesson was anyway was, don't be afraid to just to get out at a certain point and ignore it continuing to launch, which, the people out there that hear that will say, you're a shill, you're a paper hand. I got burned hard, man. I mean, I one of the first times I was really heavy into GameStop. I had options that were up over $10,000, and I lost almost all of that overnight because I diamond handed and I hodled. I'd much rather have the money in the bank and be a paper hand than anything else. I also like to degen a little, so it's hard to say.
Are you currently degenning in the crypto scene at all? Or are you strictly degenning with the meme stocks?
I'll be honest, man. I want to get into crypto more. I watch Bitcoin J. I watch Amy from obviously Penny Boys and Titan, and they crush it. I've been watching them get into XRP, which is having a pretty cool run right now. If you guys aren't aware of how XRP works, really cool story behind there. There's been a lot of litigation, but they've been pretty spicy. Also, I see Bitcoin's been moving. I'll be honest. I got burned really bad in Doge, just like all other degens on SNL and stuff. And crypto just, I haven't done as well with it as I have with options and equity. How about you, man?
I personally, I've been more in the NFT side, of course, as derivative of crypto. So I didn't want to go too heavy into crypto as well as NFTs, because then because then if or when and it did happen, crypto crash, I would be pretty heavy on both sides, facing losses on both sides. So crypto wise, I've been watching Amy and Bitcoin Jay. Now I'm a little bit jealous that I didn't listen to them and start buying Bitcoin during the dip and buying Ethereum during the dip. But
and that's the thing
it's just like the yeah.
Sorry, there's a delay on my wife's
laptop. No, you're good.
So that's the whole thing with crypto and with GameStop in particular. That's how they both work, and that's how they trick you and how they trick me is man, if only I had bought the dip, but then it keeps going up and you're going, shit, should I get in? Oh, and then as soon as you buy, that's when it launches back down. So it plays your emotions so much. Did you see the big gamble, the big bet, quote unquote, that was placed for Bitcoin?
No, which one was that? Oh, it was like the $1 million one you're talking about?
$2 million bet, yeah.
The 2 million, geez. Give me a quick rundown of that.
All right, so I forget who it was. I want to. It was somebody with maybe Coinbase or Binance. Again, I'm not a crypto guy, but I do have a pretty good pulse on the market. And it was somebody that made $2 million bet that Bitcoin would go to $1 million in something like a month. I could be wrong at the time. In something like a month, and so that is making people overly bullish on it, but I don't think he thinks it's going to that. I think he has a large holding and he might be long on Bitcoin, and he knows that, hey, it doesn't need to go to $1 million for me to get my money back off of this bet. It just needs to go up on public sentiment and this bull run.
You're saying this is like a marketing play or even like a pump and dump or pump and lose your bet almost?
I mean, I don't want to put myself out there too much on any issues, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if I could move the market in my favor, I would.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I guess if they could, anyone probably would if it really came down to it. Like, morals is there's such a fine line when you actually have it in front of you, I guess, right?
Oh, morals out the window, bro.
There's money involved.
I'm a DJ.
Need that yacht, right? The DJ. Right. We got some people watching on YouTube. We also have some people in Discord. We got Milkman. We got Jake Geo. Aramejo just came in top. Nikki, of course, as always, we love it when Nikki's always here. And I got sent you the invite, Nikki, if you want to hop on as well. But yeah, no, if you guys want, we're also on the YouTube. I put a link in the Discord chat. This is the Penny Boys Stock Alerts Discord. This YouTube is actually not Penny Boys Stock Alerts because we're gonna be talking about some spicy things today that might not be might not be safe for Penny Boys. That's we're in the lounge, so not safe for work area. But let's get it. First, we'll start with the banks. Then we'll get into, we're going to be talking about TikTok being banned. We'll be talking about Trump possibly being arrested. But first, let's talk about the banks. So obviously, in the stock market, we saw a lot of banks crashing. We know, obviously, it's because of the Silicon Valley Bank. And now, and then after that, there's a whole bunch of other banks, kind of like a domino effect. And just recently, it's maybe like a week or 2 days ago or so, the CEO, the newly appointed CEO, government appointed CEO, Tim, and I can't pronounce his last name. I think it's a Mayapolis or something like that. He had like a 30-minute Zoom call. It's basically like an AMA. He answered over 400 questions. So very Web3 of him, building in public, as they say.
Web3. I don't even know what that means yet.
Well, we're not talking about that in this stream. This is MetaMat TV, not MetaMat NFT channel. But he said that there is no safer place in the U.S. banking system to put your deposits than banks. So I don't know. What do you personally think? So this is after the crash. He was saying that. Do you believe him? Obviously, he has, like you were saying with the Bitcoin bet, ulterior motives. Do you believe him, or do you think your money is better off in like a Vanguard or maybe gold, silver, crypto, real estate, stocks, your couch mattress? Where's your money going at?
I want to believe him, and I'm not saying that I don't. I'm saying that I desperately want to, and that I think that anybody that's wise desperately should want to, because if the banks aren't safe, what is? And I'm a history major. I'm American history and political science major, and I'm a student of history. I'm fascinated by it, and for those that aren't overly familiar with how bank runs start and lead to Great Depressions, it's, all joking aside, it's actually really freaking scary. So I want to believe him, and I hope to believe him. That being said, I think the safest bet, besides ammo, would probably be gold in your backyard. I mean,
your backyard. Yeah. I like it.
I actually do trade quite a bit of commodities, copper, gold, silver, and stuff like that. Both on the market and actually on the physical realm. I keep a stockpile of like copper and gold and stuff like that because the value of it does go up and down. I'm Q3, we should see it going back up, like especially for the copper and those things. Those are always going to be your safest bet. They're always going to be your safest bet. But I really do hope that the banks are not about to crash. And those that don't know, I don't know if you said it, Matt. Obviously Silicon Valley they had gone down, but that day or two after the markets opened and they actually froze trading on a ton of banks, which is probably a very wise thing to do, but it's a very ominous thing to happen. If they didn't freeze the trading on the banks, we could have seen banks start to the stock price go down, which would have driven more fear, which would have driven more selling, which would have driven more fear. But it shows a very tenuous situation, and it really shows you how delicate everything actually is.
Especially when it comes to investing, and the majority of investors, are the people who are brand new, relatively new, and haven't seen these types of big red candles before. Yeah, they definitely could cause a panic sell, like you were saying.
And it transcends just investing. I mean, it's banks go down, people lose their jobs. People lose their jobs, people lose their homes. I mean, it's I remember 07. I mean, 07, everybody lost so much. And those that didn't prepare themselves got burned. So let's see what happens. I mean, what do you think? What do you see happening?
I mean, I'm assuming that it's going to, and it looks like they're having trouble hearing on Discord. So those of you who are in Discord, I did drop the link to the YouTube. You can join us there. We're also looking at the comments on YouTube.
They can't hear me in Discord?
I saw Jacob said something about that, but that we are also on the YouTube. And I'll just keep reminding them every so often. Or Nick, if you just want to post like a message or so every so often just about that we are on YouTube in case they're having trouble hearing Patrick, but couldn't hear. But anyway, let's talk about that though. Like, crypto, everyone, a lot of people on the crypto Twitter, talking about the banks. I personally think the banks are to come back. I mean, all these people on crypto Twitter are talking about like, banks are crashing. Now it's time to invest in crypto. If the banks like actually crash, like I'm talking like crash, like, US dollar like gets affected and all that, like that's not looking good for the economy in general, let alone crypto. Like if no one has money, then no one's going to be no one's going to have any money to put into Bitcoin. So like, I'm definitely not like, praying for like the end is near type deal with banks. I'm definitely thinking and hoping that they do recover.
I know we joke a bunch, and I'm a bear. I love it when the markets go down. I love it when the markets go down because that's where I make the most money.
It's easier, I think, to trade.
Yeah, for sure. I absolutely agree. I love a good recession because it makes my money go up. But as a business owner, as a homeowner, I don't want to see that. And truly, anybody that actually understands the true ramifications don't actually want that to happen. And if they do, you're crazy.
That's exactly. Speaking of banks, JP Morgan Chase, as if they were, having enough trouble just being a bank and being a part of this whole crisis. They're now facing lawsuits. This is actually just recently for enabling and benefiting from Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking. Yeah. This is interesting. Yeah. So the banks are, JP Morgan Bank. There's another one as well. I just can't pronounce it. If someone, I'm going to put it in the chat. Just throw some L's in there for me because I tried so hard on my TikTok to pronounce it and I just gave up. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go with Chase. But I even looked up on Google and I was like having trouble like stumbling over it. But JP Morgan Chase and this other bank, they're facing lawsuits for enabling and benefiting from Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking. JP Morgan is the big one because, first of all, both banks are being accused of turning a blind eye to Epstein's abuse because he was an important client. Money talks, especially in America. And they let him make all these wire transfers to pay victims, basically, like they were saying, turning a blind eye. JP Morgan, the big one, JP Morgan's former private banking chief, Jess Staley, he was accused of swapping suggested messages with Epstein about young women, even also in partaking himself in possible sexual allegations overseas.
Out there?
That's what I'm like. It seems like anyone who has money and old money or what.
No kidding. I have some money. I'm certainly not rich, but does it at what dollar point do kids start looking attractive to you?
You see the comment there? I love it. Imagine if I just see that. That's the thing. Whenever I mispronounce something on TikTok, it actually goes. It gets like a good amount of views because it's like everyone's commenting, trying to correct me. It's like it's actually pronounced this. That's and I get a lot of views. I'm like, thank you for correcting me.
You know, that's actually funny. There's been multiple times where I was like, I don't know the answer to this, and I would put it on Reddit, but it purposely put the wrong answer because I wanted to know what is the right answer. And I know 50,000 people were gonna rush in and do it. But seriously though, who isn't a scumbag? What the fuck? Pardon my French.
Well, it gets worse though. So J.P. Morgan now is separately suing this guy, Jess Staley, for basically hiding what Epstein knew.
Wait,
They're asking. I'm sorry, J.P. Morgan now is suing this guy because they're trying to say like, oh, we didn't know. It was just this one guy, and it might have been, who knows? But there probably were a few more knowing how the system works. And they're asking him to return 8 years of pay, cover his losses in the lawsuit, or cover their losses in the lawsuit. He admitted to being friendly with Epstein, but he's denying knowing about his crimes. So now their lawyers, the J.P. Morgan lawyers, are expected to question him under oath on Thursday and Friday. What do you think? Do you think they're going to find? Do you think they're going to find that he is indeed guilty, or do you think that he didn't actually know?
No, I can't say whether or not. I'm going to join the Discord on my phone. So if it starts acting crazy, just let me know. I can't say whether or not he actually did anything. None of us actually know. But I can say pretty confidently that I doubt that he will get found guilty or anything. There's actually a pretty prevalent conspiracy theory that that Epstein was actually a CIA asset, which sounds kind of crazy. Like, what is that? But I mean, like I don't mean like he was a secret spy. I mean, like there's a thought that he had gathered so much blackmail and so much dirt on so many people that the CIA started to use him, which would kind of lead to the reason that out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of minor children getting raped and all these rich, powerful white people, doing this, there's only one woman in jail and that's it, one woman and all these known people doing this. So no, I think this guy's going to be just fine. And we're all going to go on and live our life and talk about it.
I mean, even if he is guilty, he's going to get away with it. And if he's not guilty, if he's not guilty, there's actually more of a chance of him being found guilty because, there's trying to pin it on him. If anything, this is my 2 cents as far as that goes. But yeah, so I did make a TikTok about that one and, talking about TikTok, the big talk of the news on TikTok with all the TikTokers is whether or not
that was impressive.
Oh, wait, yes, that's what I do. I don't trade all the time, but I just sit there all day for 8 hours getting. Right?
So what do you think? Do you think he's got? I mean, what do you think about the deal with this guy? I mean, obviously we're just speculating, but I mean, what do you think?
I didn't do too much. I didn't do all my due diligence, not to confidently say either way. But
then be confidently incorrect. I love it.
I mean, confidently and correctly, I would say that I think he's probably guilty. I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, I think there's probably a lot of people who are guilty, as far as that goes. I think a lot of them are the people who have a lot of money too, and and we're in that crowd.
I mean, I could say, we can sit here and we can say, oh, I think this, I think that, but we know for a fact that there were a lot of very rich, very famous people that we know who they are, were on his plane going to his private island. I'm not saying that everybody was out there screwing kids, but I'm saying that if you were on that island, something was odd. Sorry.
Well, that's the banks. I guess they're the ones who said, no, it's okay. You're giving us, you're a good client. So, it's all good. And that's what's going on with J.P. Morgan Chase. So I mean, do you think that would? Do you think
Epstein now?
Do you think that's going to affect the stock at all, or even if this something happens, do you think it's just like another? Because with these stock, this is news when it comes to like the macro, just like people in general. But when it comes to the market, do you think these kind of things actually do affect the stock price?
I think that sure, a little bit. But I think what will affect the stock price is if they get enough anger and ire from their stockholders, from the people that are actually holding enough. I mean, let's face it, we're all you and I are retail traders. Everybody watching this is a retail trader. We're not affecting anything, not on the grand scheme of things. But if enough shareholders, like actual shareholders, are upset and they start getting bad media attention, sure, I could see it being affected. But I think it would take a lot, and I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it would have to be a big, and honestly, right now, I don't think that the shareholders are going to. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Like if it comes out,
they wouldn't want it to have.
They don't want to go down. That's the thing. Like
exactly.
It's like morals versus money type deal all over.
And again, give me the money.
There you are. You probably are a shareholder of Chase. Let me see your portfolio. But let's talk about TikTok though, because I know that is in the title of the video. So I want to make sure that you just talked about that briefly. The CEO of TikTok posted a TikTok. I didn't even know who he was, what he looked like. He looks like a pretty nice guy. I believe his name is Shou Chu. He posted a TikTok on the TikTok's official account. He's in Washington, D.C. right now, right near us, actually, Pat. And he's going to be, that's because on Thursday, he'll be testifying in front of Congress to share what TikTok is doing to protect Americans using the app. Basically, the U.S. was threatening to ban TikTok if Chinese owners didn't sell their stakes. Why? Well, because the U.S. officials were fearing that TikTok user data could be passed on to the Chinese government. And which is interesting because this is the first time, Trump tried doing this. I think it was back in 2020, got blocked. But this is the first time that the Biden administration is doing this. So now we're seeing both sides, Republican and Democrats, both saying that they want to ban TikTok, which is not looking too good for, as far as TikTok goes. But I mean, there's just so many people on TikTok. Yeah, that was his big thing. The CEO made a video talking about I think it's like 150 million users. He was saying, so there's so many people that enjoy it, love it.
Do we know if that's like an organic amount? I mean, do they have a lot of bots? Like
Twitter? I don't even know if there's a real amount. I don't know. Could be pie in the sky for all we know. But he was talking about that. He's like, oh, you're gonna take away this from the children, this and that, whatever. I'm curious to see, what he says, on Congress. I don't think that I'm not even worried if they're take my data. I don't care, whatever. I go on Amazon every once in a while. I don't know. They'll see my stock trading tips. Do you personally I know that you probably don't use TikTok. Do you use TikTok too often or?
No, I don't have a TikTok account. I've never actually been on TikTok, but I'm a Reddit guy. One of my favorite subreddits is TikTok cringe. And I love going on there and watching the videos. And I do watch all the Facebook shorts, which I think are just basically TikToks that have been put on there. So it's not that I'm adverse to it. In fact, it fuels my ADHD. It's just, I was just probably I was a Vine guy.
Oh, gotcha. You're back in the day. You're watching Logan Paul and Jake Paul and all that.
No. It was the funny videos. Look at all those chickens and all the weird. You know what I'm talking about?
I got you. The original memes.
I think I missed out on the influencer kind of thing. I never was into any of that stuff.
Well, it's perfect timing. Perfect timing that we actually have the High Indian who just popped on the stream. What's going on?
What's up, y'all? My bad. Damn time zones got me confused. I thought it was at 8:30 my time, but it was Eastern time. So it started about 20 minutes ago. Hopefully I didn't miss too much.
No, you're good. We actually just got to whether or not TikTok is going to be banned in the U.S. What our thoughts were. This is perfect. You being a huge crypto TikTok influencer. I'm assuming you also heard about this. I know you keep up to date with all the news.
And it's been a nonstop thing since Trump was in office. I remember when he was in office, towards his last year, he was about to ban TikTok and it never happened. But since then, it's just been every couple of months, it ends up, making news. It's TikTok's about to get banned. TikTok's about to get banned.
It's easy to talk about and it creates a boogeyman. I've got no love for TikTok, but I have certainly no love for the communist government, and I do see some things there, but I think that anybody that's saying do it for the children, no, that's not what it's an easy scapegoat. It's an easy boogeyman when the banks are failing. Go, ooh, TikTok, that's what's killing us.
Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting point. So the banks are failing, crypto and all that. You're saying they're using TikTok now as this is the perfect time to the economy's fine. Biden's everything's fine, guys. Well, look at TikTok.
I think everything that fuels any type of emotion is being spoon-fed while everything goes to shit around us.
So I'm curious, the High Indian, I know you have over 100K on TikTok. What would you, because I know a lot of influencers are talking about this. A lot of people are big on TikTok and might have, smaller platforms on YouTube and Twitter and this, that, whatever, because they started off on TikTok and, built it during the TikTok bull run, as I like to call it. What would you do if they just banned TikTok and now your TikTok's just gone? Are you just going to go to YouTube
You got to go harder on other content.
Yeah,
on other platforms and it does seem that this time it seems a little more serious. The TikTok CEO even made a TikTok.
Yeah,
he talked about, he was just almost half the U.S. population has a TikTok account.
Think about
That's
kids.
Insane. And then he talked about 7 million businesses. Yeah, that many people and 7 million
Businesses,
small
too.
businesses that have
that's
flourished
interesting.
on
I never
TikTok.
took that into account.
Yeah, so it's pretty serious. The CEO is supposed to testify to Congress, I think, tomorrow. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think TikTok was the easiest platform to kind of just grow on. As long as you sat there and at least made 1 or 2 videos a day or every couple of days, like you had a pretty like good chance at like making it, you know, like pretty big. So if that goes away, I imagine a lot of people will fall off, and like the people that are really dedicated to trying to like, you know, become a content creator of some sorts, they're going to go to YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And I'm not sure what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter, but I would think that I would think that he's starting to like imitate TikTok in a way. You got the For You page and you got the following page. That
seems like everybody is. Every site's got shorts now.
I mean, yeah.
And
even
TikTok has its coins that you can gift creators and stuff like that.
Right.
Twitter has its own coin, or Twitter's getting its own coin or whatever, and you know, crypto will be a part of it in the future. So yeah, no, I think people just gonna have to go hard on other platforms, and they're gonna have to try a lot harder.
Yeah, a lot of the people that are watching from Penny Boys. So I got to throw out my stock tips here. You know, if we do see TikTok get banned, which I would be surprised. I would be surprised if it does. But let's just say it does. Look for Meta, which is obviously Facebook, YouTube, anything that's going to be putting out these videos. Snapchat, I could see get a nice pump. I could see Meta, Snapchat, possibly Twitter. I didn't know that they were in the shorts game. I also I'm the worst millennial. I don't have a TikTok. I don't have a Twitter. I don't have
well, no, I try to keep up with the trends, man. And so like, I wouldn't say they're necessarily sleepers because a lot of people already do know about it. Kick for live streaming and Rumble for just like a YouTube that's less censored.
Well, so that's interesting. Kick is like the new streaming one. It's like the new Twitch, basically, I believe.
I'm gonna write that down right now.
But like every new streaming service, like we pay the creators better than the good one, basically. So I mean, it's very small right now. We'll see. I know Aiden Ross went over. A lot of big names went over. So
I've been just keeping track of it. Like I don't live stream, but I'll go on Kick, and I've noticed the numbers for like the past 1, 2, 3 weeks. Yeah. The viewers are getting in there. Like like people are getting more and more and more, and they're all starting to transfer over to Kick. And then you got like the big stars like Aiden Ross going over, and they're you know saying, "Hey, it's a lot better over here. Come on over."
So when you say it's more uncensored, I'm not familiar with Kick at all. So is that like is that going to be like the Truth Social or the
people are literally reacting to porn on Kick?
Oh wow! Okay, so it's like vote on.
It's like Twitter. It's like Twitter but Twitch.
Like, do you guys ever go? You guys obviously everybody knows Reddit. Several years ago, there was a huge purge of a lot of the more offensive, pornographic or violent subreddits. So a lot of people went to Vote, VOAT. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that didn't do that. But that ended up tanking. Vote ended up tanking. So I wonder if that's any indication. And I don't think True Social's doing well either. But you know, it's interesting. I've never heard of Kick. I'm not really into all that stuff.
It's basically Twitch, but but more, better for the creators, and all. It has, all these things to say.
Is Twitch not just for streaming games?
I thought I don't even use Twitch. I thought people did like hot tub streams. I heard and like there's gaming, but there was like also other stuff as well. Right now, that's how we get the views, right?
We're like 20 minutes away from each other. Let's.
I do want to set up. I got this like nice sectional cast. I want to set up some microphones, and next one of these Tuesdays, have you come over? We'll do this live. Actually, it'd be fun.
For those that don't know, like part of the streams are going to be like video game related because Matt and I are both in it. He's going to be getting a VR soon, and we have a group of us that do a lot of some fun stuff on VR. So I can't wait for that, dude. I have so much VR games.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Like, is it the Meta Quest that you use, or is it different, like the PlayStation VR?
It's the Quest, yeah, the Oculus Quest too. And I turned my garage. For anybody that knows me, I'm a Milwaukee nut. So my garage is a big workshop, but I also turned half of it into a VR studio, so I can play in there. And it's a blast. It was like 20 degrees last night, and Pookie and I were killing people.
I've been seeing a lot of advertisements for Meta. Like they have even like their own shows and stuff like that now. Like these two celebrities, like, oh, we're going on like adventure on the Metaverse, like come or MetaQuest or whatever. Come check us out like every Tuesday. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize like it was already here. Yeah, like competitions and stuff. So I still thought like that kind of stuff was like still, a little bit farther out, but like to see that happening. And now, Meta also said basically they're saying NFTs out the window, metaverse, putting that on hold. AI is the future. That's what they're working on right now, the near future, according to Mark Zuckerberg. He basically
So is
said
he
like
saying that metaverse is on pause? I still don't really understand metaverse, but
well, he still said they're still gonna have it, but it's gonna be, I guess, not a bit priority over AI. AI is now their new shiny toy. The
well, that
new.
makes sense. But how much money
yeah,
did they dump into metaverse? I mean,
I'm.
I mean, just the salaries alone that they were
That's the
paying
thing. Yeah.
some people. I mean, it's I want money.
No, but no, he dumped a lot of money into the metaverse, and even just in marketing, like advertisements. But I do think that like his Meta Quest and like his like VR, like the thing that you have, like I think that's still going to be a thing. I think he's still going to be putting someone like a good amount of money into that.
For
I just
sure.
think,
It's going to have to.
yeah,
Breckle, by the way, is big.
yeah.
So I mean, he's got to. So right now, just for those that don't know, I'm actually really big into the VR world, and I think that there's going to be some big applications that aren't really being used right now. One for obviously gaming, but I think gaming is going to be something that's on the smaller side, or it's always going to be there, but it's not going to be their main money maker. Right now, you can buy the Oculus Quest 2 for like $250, $300. About 3 months ago, they released the Oculus Pro or the Quest Pro, which is $1,400 or $1,200. But so obviously a massive price increase. That's not geared towards gamers. That's geared towards productivity and to corporations to give to their employees to be able to work in the metaverse or whatever more efficiently. And they do. And they do. I actually have and even just on my Oculus, I work quite a bit on that, where I have multiple monitors. I've got a virtual desk, and it sounds kind of silly, like why not just use what you have? But you really truly can be way more efficient. I think it's just
That's
one of the small
interesting,
applications.
huh? Well,
Yeah,
how when you say more efficient, like what do you like? They like, is this more available, or is this easier to act? Like, what's more efficient having in front of you as opposed to like physically having it in
more
front of you, I
available,
guess?
easier to act. So like I like it because when I do a lot of data. We will be trading on VR soon. I trade on VR now, seriously. I
Seriously?
get on virtual desktop, and I trade on it.
Huh.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, so
Whoa,
when
we
I'm
got to do a
when I'm
stream of that. What are you doing? We got to stream that together. I got to get one. We got to do
sure.
that.
So the act of actually buying and selling isn't always as easy as say from your computer, obviously, but it can be because you can have a virtual Bluetooth keyboard in real life, and it'll be present in the game that you can actually see it or in the VR. So why I like it is, right now you guys can't see, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 monitors in front of me. That's great, but I can't really move things around. I'm limited, as we all are, by what's physical. When I am trading or when I'm working on in VR, and I work on VR all the time, I've got tons of monitors up in my virtual space. I can make them small, I can make them large, I can move them around. I can manipulate everything around me so much easier, and it's just way more efficient. I mean, imagine if you could every monitor around you was completely weightless, and you could make it a big screen. You could put it in your pocket. You could do whatever you want.
Oh my gosh, that
It's
sounds
neat, dude. It's
amazing.
super neat.
No wires. I freaking hate all these wires I have here.
Yeah, I literally, James Legend and I used to do it a couple of times where we would watch Spy on VR.
That's awesome. I definitely have to get one of those. That's
It's
really
awesome
cool.
until you're watching a network just plummet in VR. And you're like, hey, yay.
Oh, that's fair. But yeah, no, speaking of the VR, we got the high India back. Speaking of VR, I think that augmented reality is going to be really, really huge in the future. It's kind of like, kind of what you're talking about, using a desktop, but it's going to kind of be like you put these glasses on and
so VR does that now, and people don't know that actually. Yeah, okay. So I just started doing a Vermilion, which is a cool painting app that Pookie showed me, but you can there's something called pass-through. So people think that when you're wearing Oculus or your VR, you can't see anything except what's in there. That's not true. It basically turns into like night vision, where I can put it on and I can see everything around me, just as if if I wasn't wearing anything. And now developers are actually making it so where, like right now, I could be wearing my set. I can see my room exactly as it is. It looks completely normal, but it also it generates soldiers coming into my room, and I could shoot them, and I could run through my house and stuff. And it is augmented reality. That's just on the gaming application. But when we really get to like Google Glass, could have been so much. Like, but that's going to happen.
I'm picturing like, if you want to go for a walk, you can put on your augmented reality glasses or, VR glasses, and like there's having games like along, in Central Park or this, that, whatever. And like people can make games. And I think there's just so much that can happen, like combining the virtual world and, the real world,
I've been thinking about for a long time. I'm not smart enough. I'm just a dumb plumber, but I think a great business venture could possibly be something like targeting elderly or people that are, crippled or whatever, and give them a chance to explore the world and do adventures that they could never actually do. I mean, if I had to be crippled, or if I was bedridden and I couldn't do anything, I'd want to escape reality that way. I think it'd be awesome.
That would be really cool. Even just for learning, I think for kids and stuff like that. We do have a comment here from another Patrick's Time, talking about, we're going to talk about Trump now because I know we have that in the title. People are waiting to hear about that. And I know I brought the High Indian here to hear his takes on this as well. He's talking about still no evidence Trump's committed a crime. I know that Trump, I guess it was leaked by Manhattan DA office that Trump was going to get arrested. Then Trump made a tweet, or made either a tweet or some kind of social media post about it, basically saying like, if I do get arrested, like, everyone, like, basically let's go in arms and, take the nation back, basically.
Which, all right, get the fuck out of here.
I personally, I have mixed feelings about Trump personally, but I think it's interesting though. Like now, because of that, New York authorities were saying that, arresting Trump could be dangerous. And this is all, by the way, some people are thinking like, oh, it's because of, the documents he was like, that they're accusing him of like hiding and this, that, whatever. This is from Stormy Daniels. This is from the adult film star, Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with what's going on.
Well, I mean, Trump's not your everyday president. He was a celebrity first. So, he has his share of, things that most celebrities, like we're talking about the banks, do, whether it be good or bad. But I guess Daniels says that Trump's company paid her $130,000 in hush money during Trump's 2016 campaign over sexual encounter claims. Once again, it looks like everyone, all the big money has these sexual encounter claims going on. First, we had the JP Morgan recently, just actually today, I think that's when that came out. If anyone's watching, you can tune in later. If you're tuning in, for those of you who are not watching live, you can scroll back and see that. We talked all about the JP Morgan case. And so basically the rumor of his arrest, like I was saying, started on social media. Now they're saying it might be dangerous. What do you think? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think he's going to be arrested? Would you think that he actually did pay her this hush money? Do you think it's just,
yes.
Do you think it's all political? Because I mean, there is a lot to be gained on, on either side, if this was all a hoax, So I'm wondering what both of your takes. I think that you both have opposing views from what I remember of your TikToks, the High Indian. I want to hear you first, the High Indian. Then we're gonna get to you, Patrick. I see you you're like, oh, I'm ready, Patrick.
No.
Let me unmute you really quick.
I think it's a political witch hunt, man. Like they have far more serious and heinous stuff to go after than Trump giving hush money to a porn star. And that porn star already lost in court against Trump and had to pay her like $300,000 in legal fees. And that's like on the books. But really, I think both parties, like the, original Republicans, Mitch McConnell and who's the other guy? I always forget his name. I'm having a brain fart. But I think both sides don't want to see Trump run for office, because the first thing that he'd do if he did get into office is pull us out of Ukraine, because he was largely against NATO. He said that from the beginning. And so I think that both parties actually want to go to war with Ukraine, because that's, our $1 trillion economy. It's not from import and exports. It's our war machine. Whether we're the ones going to war or we're the ones funding a war, first before Ukraine, we were in Iraq. Before that, South America. Before that, Vietnam, Cold War, whatever it is, as long as the U.S. is supplying weapons and overturning governments, which is basically what they did with Ukraine.
It started. You think that's what we did in Ukraine?
Yes, it started in 2014.
How did we overturn the government? We didn't invade Ukraine.
Here we go.
Ukraine was invaded by somebody else.
It was a coup d'etat, and in 2014, Obama started it. They had to put a pause on it because Trump went in office, and he wasn't about war. He was trying to make peace, even with the leader of North Korea. And then, now that Biden's back in office, they get to finish this thing off. It's just that, like, you know, the Iraq war just ended. We got to make money somehow. And what
But
we're
not
going to
getting
do,
paid for these weapons, and so
we
I
will,
take
we
I
will
take
in
the
the future.
contrarian viewpoint on this, and I have no love for Trump whatsoever, and I make no mystery of it. I also have no love for Biden. I think he's a doddering fool, but we're not making money off of what we're giving Ukraine, and I think that the cost of not getting involved is high greater than the cost of what we're doing, because the resource isn't isn't selling weapons, it's soft power. If we weren't, and I'm a veteran. I mean, I was in the Iraqi war. I hate war. I've lost buddies. I'm a Purple Heart vet. I think the whole thing is disgusting. But I understand that we are sending over weapons. We're sending over recon. We're sending over resources, so somebody doesn't actually have to go over there. It's soft power. If we weren't there, if we weren't doing this, then Ukraine gets bowled over, and now there's a Russia's in Ukraine, and then possibly the next thing. Who knows? It could be a domino effect. The whole idea behind the soft power that America has all across the world, for better or worse, because I do think that we just overstep all the time, it stops the world from getting into World War III. Do I think that America makes a ton of money in the industrial war complex is disgusting? Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. But I don't think that's Ukraine. I really don't.
No, I hear you. And first, let me say I respect you for your service. Thank you. I never had the balls.
Let's fight.
I never had the balls to join the military myself or the Marines. I mean, a couple of my friends did, and like I'm very close to them. But really, like, I think it all just comes down to geopolitics. Prior to 2014, Ukraine was just Ukraine. It wasn't a part of Russia. It wasn't a part of NATO. 2014 came around. NATO tried to, put its claws on there. It's like, hey, we're going to adopt Ukraine, or Ukraine is going to become a part of NATO territory. If NATO doesn't try to go after Ukraine, I think Ukraine just would have been Ukraine, one of the most corrupt governments in the world, period, point blank. And so I really do think that we're pushing Russia into a corner to where, and I'm not trying to sympathize, because Putin could just let Ukraine go. Hey, go be a part of NATO and do your thing.
He invaded Crimea. I mean, he didn't. He said Ukraine is Russia. Ukraine is Russia. And he's been trying to annex it and take it back for a long time.
But that's because NATO is extending its reach, and it's been doing this for a long time.
Should they deny another country that wants to join them?
If it means going to war or starting a war, yes. We don't need Ukraine.
We don't need Ukraine, but that's not the idea behind it. The idea isn't we need them. The idea is they need us to protect them. I mean, it's about protected. It's about being morally. And I hear what you're saying, man. By the way, I love this stuff. I mean, I'm not actually angry about any of this. I love talking about this stuff. Ukraine doesn't. NATO doesn't need Ukraine. America doesn't need Ukraine. But the idea is to try to defend it. I mean, is NATO and most of geopolitics full of just terrible people? 100%. That's power. It's always going to happen. But I want to believe that the idea is behind just protecting people. Am I naive? Probably, but that's what I want to believe, and I hope it's accurate. And I do think it sounds like we're trying to say, hey, Putin was forced into a corner. Nobody's forced to invade a country. Nobody's forced to invade.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I see what you're saying. I do think that if we just leave Ukraine as it is, and they don't have to be a part of NATO, I don't think that Russia would have invaded Ukraine or, tried to seize power over there. But, like you said, we each have our own beliefs, and to say each other is wrong, it's like, we don't really know what's going on.
I just know Matt's wrong.
You said what?
Matt's wrong.
Matt's wrong. Yeah, Matt's wrong.
I'm just sitting here enjoying the content. Honestly, I'm like, I'm gonna clip.
No, but I mean, these are the conversations that are great, and it seems like our politicians can't do the same. We can actually sit here and have two different opinions and go back and forth. The other way is just they're just berating and yelling at each other to the point where it's just whatever.
Because it's a performance piece. Nothing. They don't actually want to accomplish shit. I mean, it's all a performance piece. I really do think. Sorry, I'm cursing. I can't do that right.
No, it's not about TV. You're good. We're not on Penny Boys YouTube.
All right, cool. No, it's a performance piece, and that's what I think. I mean, do I think that Trump get paid off Stormy Daniels? Yeah, I do. But do I think that it's just a performance piece and whatever? Yeah, I do. I think that I do think that they're just going after him because it's a performance piece. Do I think he did it? Yeah. Do I think that that we need to do this? No. It's
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that he paid her off. But back then,
I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, it was a misdemeanor. That's the thing. It was a misdemeanor, and they're deciding to upgrade it to a felony just to make sure they can indict Trump. And so, there's murderers and killers and rapists like out on the street. And
so let me ask you this, High Indeed, because we obviously share a contrarian view, but I enjoy your spirited debate. When he came out and said, protest us and take our nation back, that echoes January 6th insurrection to me. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
All right, this is going to seem wild.
I was there.
All right. No, I wasn't there. But January 6th was the best thing to ever happen to me. Like, when I first came to America, it seemed like I was super young. Like, I was a kid. And things like I didn't get a grasp on things and the realities of being an adult and race and religion until 9/11 came around. 9/11 came around, and I'm not Muslim. I'm not even from the Middle East. I'm from India, but I look brown. I have a beard, and so you get called, even if it's just jokes. You get labeled a terrorist. Whenever you go to airports, you get double searched like that. It created this stereotype, 9/11 did. And so when January 6th happened, they stopped looking at people like me and started looking at honorary white folk. Like if you go,
I get the word. I lean way more left.
You too.
I actually lean fairly left, and don't tell anybody because I lean left. But I drive a pickup truck, and I love guns, and I have a Harley, and I run a plumbing company. So people look at me like this guy was in, and I live right outside of DC. I'm like, no. I'm progressive.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm from Texas. Drive a pickup. I have a bunch of guns too. I like going fishing. I like going hunting.
But now you can get away with it. Now I gotta hide.
Yeah, they're gonna think that you're like a MAGA Republican. Get out of here, racist. But I don't know. It's January 6th is just another. What did you call it? A political performance. To me,
that's what I called it. I disagree that that's what it was, but I'm
telling. That's what I think it is.
Sure.
I think that it was just first of all, I don't know how they were able to storm the Capitol. Personally, I feel like that they let them. They just let them walk on right through the doors. You're talking about a government building.
I agree.
They just let them walk on through. And, it creates this narrative. Trump already made it pretty bad by not accepting that Biden won. I'll fully admit that, whether it was voter fraud or whatever it is, it happened back with Bush and Gore. It was so close. People believe that Gore probably should have won. I think it was Gore. People think that Gore should have won, but the courts ended up deciding that Bush won, and they basically told Gore, "Hey, you need to chill out, accept what happened." I think the same thing probably should have happened in the case of Trump versus Biden, but Trump, he was like you said, he's not a politician. He may have became president, but prior to that, just a business guy dealing with politicians for zoning issues and stuff like that all over the world, because he has hotels everywhere, I guess. But yeah, I think that, he's crazy, but he's more like most Americans than any politician out there.
God help us then.
Hey, he's about to get arrested. I can relate to that more than any other president in the book.
I don't think he's getting arrested. I don't see that happening.
I don't either, just because, like I said, it's dangerous. There's.
Well, there was a bomb threat at the courthouse. But I think whether or not you think that whether or not you're a person that thinks he did it, whether or not you're Biden, put yourself in Biden's shoes right now. And Biden and Trump, they hate each other, whatever have you. It might seem like a moral victory, but I think we have to look at the macro effects of this. And if a former president was indicted or arrested, that is going to greatly shake people's confidence in the U.S. system. And whether you like it or not, the U.S. does lead the global economy and lead the global culture in many cases. So if Trump gets arrested and it shakes people's core beliefs that America is doing well, we could see huge ramifications. We could see China continue to go on to further power because they say, look how corrupt America is. Their presidents are getting arrested. Whether Biden wants it to happen or not, I don't think he would allow it to. I think he will make a show out of it, make a performance piece out of it, and go, I'm going to get the big orange guy. But I don't think they want it to happen. Not really.
I hope it doesn't happen because I know that there's a bunch of crazy ass people out there that are diehard Trump support. I'm not about to go to bat for anybody.
Oh, there are.
Like, I'm not about to go I'm not gonna storm a Capitol or I'm not gonna protest. Like he's out there telling people to protest. Like, no, like I'll give you a vote. I'll give you a vote. I'm not giving you any of my money. Like none of that. And yeah, I really hope it doesn't happen just because I feel like it's gonna divide the nation even more. Like, and we're already pretty divided. It's getting pretty like thick, like, you know, thin line between left and right. And I feel like prior to that, you know, we were able to, you know, at least dip into the other side a little bit. Prior to this last presidential election, I voted for Clinton. At the very beginning, I was like the same way. I thought I voted for Hillary Clinton. I thought Trump was a bad guy. I thought he was a racist. And then I dealt with it for 4 years. And I was like, this, like, you know, you may not like what the guy says ever, like, you know, but then again, we're not supposed to like who the president is. We're supposed to judge them on how they impact the economy. And this guy's been doing business for how long? And I don't know. Biden came into office and it seems like everything's just been going to shit since. Inflation, whatever it is. Like I just went to the grocery store. Like I used to be able to buy a good amount of stuff for $150. Now I'm like walking out, like, you know, with not enough. Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's got to be Ukraine and Putin.
You know, it's interesting. You're talking the Capitol riots, how you're like, they let it happen. You were saying, and it's interesting because the Area 66 raid, everyone's talking about, and then all of a sudden they shut that down pretty fast.
Yeah, it so like to have the National Guard out there, and I mean DC,
but they didn't let them. They didn't let them come out. I mean, you can't just say I want the National Guard out there. I mean,
that's
only
true.
People can call them out.
Trump had to call them out, but we're talking about DC.
And Trump denied having metal detectors out there. Trump denied. I mean, I do think that they were let in, but I think that we're thinking for a different reason. I think we're pointing. We have the same idea, but we're
I see what you're saying. Like you're basically saying Trump let them in. I'm saying basically like the police and the Democrats let them in to carry on their narrative.
It's politicians against you and me, brother. I mean, honestly,
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like that's why the whole Democratic and Republican Party exists, to pit the people against each other. Yeah, while they sit behind closed doors and do whatever they're going to do regardless.
I mean, hang out with Epstein, apparently.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Well, we got Jacob in the chat talking about Ron DeSantis seems to be the best bet. I believe that MAGA Inc., a Trump super PAC, they actually filed a complaint with the Florida Commission of Ethics accusing Ron DeSantis. I always thought DeSantis and Trump, they were going to get along because, both Republican, but I guess, they are going to probably be going, if Trump does get arrested, going up against each other to see who faces, who goes up against Biden.
That's why I can't stand the Republican Party sometimes. I think they go against each other.
It's disgusting. Well, it's all disgusting.
Well, Democrats did it too. The Democrats did it too with the
for sure. And I'm not talking. I think the politics of this is disgusting, and it should embarrass people. I don't know how many of you. I follow politics very closely, and I was and I lived in Florida up until about a year ago. And I don't know how much you guys remember, but everybody remembers, but just to recall people, Trump, everybody hitched their wagon to Trump, right? Because that's what was sweeping the nation, and it made sense. DeSantis had a campaign ad where he swaddled his kid in a Trump flag, and he as he was reading his child to sleep, it was with The Art of the Deal, Trump's book. And it was so gross, to my opinion, not because of Trump, just be your own human being. And now they're fighting each other. And I just think it's just exposes how little people actually have core beliefs in anything. Democrats, Republicans, whatever, politicians, they don't believe in shit. They believe in getting elected, and they are just turning on themselves left and right. I think it's very true. If it wasn't sad, it would be funny.
Yeah. And I like DeSantis. Like, I think that he would be a great president, but I don't think that he's going to run against Trump. I think that he'll
absolutely.
I think he'll wait until after, because at that point you're just breaking.
I don't think so. I think, and I don't mean to keep cutting people off. There's a delay.
No, go ahead.
And I say I don't mean to. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
I think that he will run. Maybe you won't, but I think that he will, and I think that he would win. I think that he would win. I think that DeSantis poses a lot more danger, or I think that. Obviously, I don't want to say danger because I don't want to alienate your beliefs or anything, but I think that DeSantis would be a lot more effective than Trump, and I think that would be a bad thing in my personal belief. But the Fox News and One American Nation or whatever it's called, they're a right arm of the Republican Party, and they hold a lot of sway. And they wrote Trump off 8 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago, and they've obviously shifted their support to DeSantis, which I think will help DeSantis, and I think DeSantis would actually relish the idea of going against Trump, because if he can beat Trump, nobody can beat him, right? I could see that happening very, very easily.
I think he's going to run though, because he did, like, the whole reason that the MAGA Inc. is doing this is the complaint is because of DeSantis doing a shadow run for the White House. So they're saying that he met with donors, he courted influential Republicans in early voting states. To me, that sounds like he's going to do it regardless of this possible arrest or not, I think. I also agree with you. I think that he probably would win, just because I think that after, I think that Trump has that kind of like NFTs, that bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, where like, even if you like NFTs, like, I love NFTs. I want to say Web3 though.
That's what I want to talk about. Like how, if you look at all the NFT projects that have came out, mine and a bunch of others, all our floors are down. Trump's NFTs are up. They were $99 and they're like a 0.6 ETH floor right now.
But that in itself is a conspiracy, right? Because how do you get money into politics? How do you get money to a political candidate? Because we know that you're only allowed to donate a certain amount, but you are not tracking it through that NFT. Yeah. So I mean,
but they're actually Trump's not the first one. There is this guy. For sure. I interviewed this guy, Matt West. He ran for Congress. This is like last year. He lost, but he crypto Beaver's NFT, basically, where the funds, like I think it was 90%, goes towards Matt West for Congress. So it was actually, he was using an NFT project to fund his campaign. So I guess there is some way to like go around it, like, legally speaking. I don't think that he actually. Did he actually take, like, where did that money go to from this? The mint and all that,
somebody's pocket. I don't think it went to his campaign. I think it they probably paid Trump a good amount for using his likeness and image, or whatever they want to call it, and then the developers and the artists who did that shitty artwork,
pocketed the AI art. This is a bunch of good marketers, basically, who paid Trump.
Stock photos or shutter photos or whatever they're called.
Do you think? What do you think about? We'll just briefly touch on this subject, because I know you also are in the NFT space. Do you think NFTs are dead? I know Doodles is a big project, saying they're
in bad shape.
They're saying they don't even want to be an NFT project anymore. They're saying we're out.
People are realizing, like, you took away and I really don't give a shit about royalties, because at the end of the day, you can't just rely off people buying and trading your NFTs to make capital. So I think a lot of people are realizing that everyone was just putting the money from one hand to another, and it had a golden run for about a year, but I think people got tired of it, and like it's just the same thing constantly over and over. Don't get me wrong, the top projects will probably stay alive, the blue chips, Yuga Labs, Azuki, and other ones, but I think a lot of them are going to fail unless they find some sort of outside revenue, like to where they're making money, but they're not milking people with $110 hoodies. And
as an outsider to it, I don't really understand. I'm a big trader. I love trading. It's a major source of my income, and I love figuring out how things work. I never really figured out how NFTs are, what they were. I understand what they are, but they never really made a lot of sense to me. I think maybe part of the issue was that it was is confusing. It's a confusing concept, but it was so overly saturated. Who wasn't coming out with an NFT? Nike, McDonald's, Domino's.
The entry level was
is there a utilitarian
the bar so low?
Like XRP
for some. Like I'll take one for example, Loud Punks.
Loud Punks?
Yeah, they're called Loud Punks. And if you're familiar with Rolling Loud, the music festival, that's like, it goes on around the country. I just
think of ecstasy when I think of that.
Well, yeah, there's this festival called Rolling Loud. It's a yearly basis, and they have it like in LA and New York and a couple places in Europe. And it's just like a lot of rap artists go there. And one of the utilities of owning a Loud Punks is you get VIP tickets for every single Rolling Loud that exists. And you're talking about a $400, $500 ticket every time you go. I think the floor on that is about like a little shy of 2 ETH. So, if you go to 5 or 6 Rolling Louds, you've basically paid for that NFT, but you could go for a lifetime. So integrating that with my NFTs, they're just a small little collection of 420, but you're going to be able to connect your NFT to an e-commerce website. Yeah, you're going to be able to connect your NFT to an e-commerce website and just buy stuff that you normally would at a smoke shop for retail. Because yeah, I own a smoke shop, so it's easy for me to get.
We should talk about this.
The thing is, huh? What? Yeah, no, but yeah, like, and I mean, the website isn't just closed to people that hold the NFT. Like, you know, if you're just a regular person want to buy some stuff that you would at a smoke shop, you can just go on the website. So it's not really, like, you know, you can go ahead and get a really mean discount that you probably wouldn't pay anywhere else and get it shipped right to your house.
So that's interesting. So my thought process on NFTs, and guys, I'm gonna have to get off here shortly. But my thoughts on NFTs, and again, as somebody that really didn't understand it, and I love a good conspiracy theory, was it was kind of a grift similar to selling fine art. You know, it's an easy way to transfer wealth without paying taxes. You know, if MetaMat is a you know, an appraiser, hi Indian, you paint this. MetaMat appraises it $1 million, and I buy it for $1 million, and then I turn around and sell it back to Breckle from Discord for 500,000, whatever. You know, it just seems to me like a way to shift money.
We have to pay taxes on gains that we make on NFTs, so like you can't. I mean, you could not, but
if you realize the sell, or if you just hold it. I mean, when are you paying taxes? As you hold it, or once
as soon as you make some money off of it.
But you don't make money till you realize the profit by selling, right?
Yeah, technically, if I put an NFT out there, and
that's a good way to hide your wealth, then. By
it could be, but that's art in general. People
for sure, no, and that's what I'm saying.
People do that with physical paintings and sculptures all the time, and so, but that's like, you bring up a good point. You thought of art, and I think that's where it varies. Like, it started as that artists were able to prove provenance, sell their artwork in a digital format to where their art was known as theirs. There's no counterfeits. You know, the blockchain keeps everything solid.
The blockchain works. I think that is interesting.
Yeah, and so that's one concept of it. But the other side, you said grifting. That's a huge part of it. You know, like
I'm into the grift. I'm a degen. Let's do it.
It's a little. I think it's like it's not too late, but it's a little harder. Back, like, you know, this time last year, you could buy anything and it would have picked up. You know,
MetaMat, didn't you make like 1,000% on a space dick or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
No. I moon dick, but I didn't make any money off of that.
If the IRS is listening,
that's exactly what it was. Now it's like back then, you know, there were probably like 10 to 15 things that you could buy in a week, and all of those would take off. Now you'd be lucky if there's one. And really, it's only
during the meme craze? Or was it after?
After, like GameStop again and all that. I think it was
late 2019 to the end of 2021.
Then, because I do think that it was interesting. Obviously, you've got the meme stocks, which is I'm big into, which then kind of led to the shit coins like Sheeb, Doge to a lesser extent, which then NFTs seem to follow. And I kind of always assumed they were correlated, but it sounds like
it's the same type of traders that the majority of them are.
It is the same type of traders. I think that NFTs are doing a lot worse than the shit coins now. I think that you, like, if you're actively trading or trying to day trade, I think you'd probably be better off in crypto right now, at least.
Yeah, this is the oversaturation. So I know that we hit the hour mark. Pat, you have to go soon. The last topic I want to bring up, and this is more of a lighthearted one, and I want to get your take on whose side you're on here, who you think is in the right. So this is a TikToker. His name, I believe, is Dash. He bought front row tickets for his girlfriend for a Chris Brown concert. And she actually, I mean, you might have heard of this. She got pulled onto stage, got a lap dance by Chris Brown. And then because of that, he broke up with her. So do you think, and of course she thinks she's not in the right, or she didn't do anything wrong. And he, of course, thinks that she did. Do you would you, if you were in his shoes, would you just would you do the same thing as him? Or would you say you're at a Chris Brown concert, of course you got pulled on stage and let it happen?
I think anybody at that Chris Brown concert's a loser already. So I think everybody is a loss.
You're already broken up with.
Yeah.
Isn't he the guy that beat the shit out of Rihanna?
Yeah.
I think you're already fan.
Yeah. I personally, I think if you're at the Chris Brown concert and you're with your girl, as long as it was just a lap dance, I would just let it happen. But if we're at a other concert and, Damn, who's a hot female singer that I can think? Rihanna. If you're at a
Yeah, you
Rihanna
can't say
concert
Rihanna
and you know
Listen.
and she's offering you like, you know, or she pulls
That's
you up
the
on stage and gives you a lap
question.
dance, as long as your girl's okay with it, you know, like, and it's just a lap dance.
Well, here's
it's
the
nothing
thing.
more than that.
He wasn't there. He wasn't there.
I don't know.
So,
But it didn't happen on. Oh, he bought her tickets and
he
she
bought her
went and it
tickets. She
happened.
Isn't that Chris
went,
Brown's
like it was,
thing?
yeah,
Besides-
and then just that happened.
Besides beating women, isn't his thing known to be like sexual?
I think so. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know
He was
Chris,
like
I don't
the
know.
smooth
Oh, yeah,
dancer.
He's like
Get
Rico
out of
Suave. Yeah.
My wife and I we have a very similar personality, and I think that if she got, well, actually, I remember we went to New Orleans together, and I rang a bell somewhere that I didn't know was going to cause a lap dance, and my wife was sitting there laughing about it. She would have been mad if she thought that I was out there doing it with my buddies, and was like, yeah, but she's recognized it as a fun event that was a jokey thing, and it was funny.
Right. Now my girl lets me go to the strip club with her, but she would like if I went alone, that's a whole different story. So
What if you went with me?
Well, we could all go. We'll make it a whole. We'll do a stock trading.
I don't know where any are here.
Do the live stream in there.
It'll be
Penny Voice,
one
Hawk,
of these
what's
Tuesdays
good?
will be in a strip club.
You know, when you get on the VR, there's VR chat, and you can go to a VR strip club.
There you go.
Oh,
I
yeah,
heard there's
that's-
like people like working as like the strippers, like guys who are
People
stripping,
get
making
paid
money and stuff
to
like
do
that.
VR,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
That's
wild.
Yeah.
like where I don't know how to put it, but when the internet first started, like that's the type of stuff that picked up first with the whole metaverse goggles and stuff. That's the stuff that's still going on.
My wife
Like-
just asked me if I've been to a VR strip club. No, darling.
You're gonna get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, no. But yeah,
I
no,
haven't
I
been
think that
to, like,
stuff
intro
drives the economy in a way. Like, or
Oh,
you know,
sex sells. Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the
money
oldest
is
job in the
money.
world.
What's that?
It's the oldest job in the world. Prostitution. I mean, it's
I mean,
Jesus' mom, prostitute.
I think OnlyFans is
No, not
wonderful.
Jesus'
I
mom,
don't
Jesus'
even like not
wife.
as like I don't even watch it, but I think that for people who are on OnlyFans, and you know, as opposed to what it used to have to be in order to, you know, make money that way, it used to be really shady for people. Now there's actually a way they can do it from the comfort of their homes, just like we are as influencers. Here we are, not that, you know, doing this type of podcast.
we
would
live
be
in a
shady,
digital
but
world now. So
It's
I
true.
mean,
Why not?
But nobody
Yeah.
wants to see
Power
you
to the
take your clothes
people.
off.
Power to the. Is your OnlyFans not getting the hits that you're hoping it would pass?
It's just Pookie from Discord, honestly. He's the only
He's just
subscriber.
the oversubscribe, like commenting all the. That's
Hi,
great.
Indian. How have we never met, by the way? You seem like a lot of fun.
shit. Well, I don't know why we haven't met
How do you
yet.
know I met him at?
TikTok.
See, I know him from trading.
From trading?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, there's very few TikTokers that are in the Web3 space that I've became cool with. MetaMat is one of them. Shmoo NFT and a couple other guys, but I've taken a little bit of a hiatus. I haven't been making
saw that,
content.
yeah.
I haven't been making as much content. I just got a lot of stuff going on in real life, but
That's
I'm
good.
basically getting back into the game. That's why I was able to come here right now too. I was like, hell yeah. So like, yeah, just jumping back in, and I love trading. I love reselling. I just love making money. Like,
same.
and I want to help other people like whether it's not copy just pasta me, but if they can look at me and see something that might motivate them to do something else, you know, something that they're passionate about, that's a win in my
That's the
book.
influencer. In
And I
there.
think that's what we're all. I mean, I don't really I've never considered myself an influencer. I don't think that I hold that much influence on anybody. But
I don't think any influencer likes the term influencer. I don't even like
They
it,
say
but
it. They
I've
say
come
it.
to grips with it. Like motherfuckers call you it so much. They're like, oh, you're an influencer. Even my friends from high school, it's like, oh, you're a big influencer now.
I
It's
feel
like,
it's
no,
what my
I'm not,
grandma would
but
call
whatever.
it. Like, oh, you're such a good little influencer. But I'd say I love helping people. I mean, I run a plumbing and HVAC company that's it's become pretty successful, and I help people out with that kind of stuff. I think that's fun. It's when you said that you owned a smoke shop. I mean, obviously I like to smoke, but I think it's just cool. I just love meeting other small business owners.
Yeah, no,
It's-
hey, small business is the shit. That's why when Walmart started shutting down in Oregon, I was like, fuck yeah. Walmart killed small businesses all over the world.
Will you drop me a link in here before I go so I can
Yeah.
maybe I'll make a TikTok.
Breck will just follow behind Indian. There we go.
Oh, sweet.
No, there's a lot of really cool people in the TikTok space, Pat, because I know, so Prime Patrick's from the Penny Boys area, and then I had the High Indian, he's from the TikTok, scene, and I have there's a lot of really cool people who I'm going to be bringing on to these types of streams, and also our Friday market review, just to talk about crypto stocks, just the market in general. We'll be having, I know Crypto Saves will be coming on, a few of them. I know Cade Bergman was talking about coming on. hopefully high Indian, you'll be coming on if you always an open invite. But
Yeah,
the
no,
goal is to definitely
just
get
let me know whenever you want me, bro.
Yeah.
You do the like. Is this the normal time that you do them around?
For the Tuesday one, yeah. Friday is going to be 3:15 p.m. Eastern. There's another Web3 friend. There's Mr. Craigo from Craigo's Crypto Corner.
What's up,
How you
Craig?
doing, Craig?
What's going on, buddy? Are we gonna fight?
What's up, GM?
Good morning. Yeah, no, so Craig's from the Web3 space as well. He's actually from the Craigo's Crypto Corner, which I co-host. We have a show going on tomorrow at 12 Eastern. Have the NFT Miami crew coming on to talk about NFT events and just how that event in general is going. I know we were talking about Ron DeSantis in Florida earlier, so tying that in.
Layman, for somebody that I'm able to grasp concepts pretty well, but it seems like a buzzword. Can you explain Web3 to somebody that is tech savvy? But what the hell is Web3 actually?
Well, as mainstream media will say, it's a scam. But Andy, what is Web3 to you?
So I try to think of it whenever I'm explaining it to people. It's like Web 1, you would log in with a username and a password. Web 2, you can log in with your Facebook, your Google, stuff like that, and all your information is saved, right? If it's on Facebook, then your pictures are there, whatever, videos and posts and stuff like that.
Web 2 is cloud.
No, Web 3 is a wallet. Web3 is like you actually own whatever it is that you're signing. Like you use your wallet to connect to whatever website it is. So you're not signing in with your email. You're not signing with your password. You log in with your crypto wallet, and that is your profile. Like, and that is your identity. But your digital assets you hold, whether it be music, crypto, your money, NFTs and stuff like that.
And this just kind of follows the thought process of like a blockchain, right? Like everything's got an ID. And
absolutely,
I dig that. I'm not a crypto guy. I'm not an NFT guy, and I have a very tenuous grasp on blockchain exactly. But from my limited understanding, it's a way that everything's got an ID, and then you can track every single thing to somewhere, and
the blockchain doesn't lie, is what they say.
Yes. From the inception of when it was created to the point where it gets either burned or lost in some scam person's wallet, it is there. It is the public. Yeah, it is the public ledger, and that's why, I think
put my house on a blockchain.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, NFTs right now are seen as a scam, and they're just art and profile pictures. But I think that one day it won't be probably NFT, but it is an NFT. The deed to your house, the title to your car, your driver's license, all that shit. It's going to be a digital document that you own.
So why do people call this a scam? I do have to get off here. Maybe next Tuesday we can actually get into this. But why is it a scam? Is it because it's a weird boogeyman word, or
I think it's just like the beginning of the internet. So there, like at the beginning of the internet, everything was almost a scam too. Mm-hmm. And so whenever you have something that's brand new, people are trying. People are scamming, but people are also trying, and they're failing. They're failing very hard and very often. And so a lot of people get wrecked. There's a lot of bad actors. And shit does not always go right. So I think the majority of people do think NFTs are a scam. Personally, you could even say that 50% of the space is a scam. 50% of Web3 is a scam right now. But I do think that crypto Web3, it's progressing faster than anything ever has. So if you take banks, is it Bernie Madoff? Is that his name? The guy that ran a Ponzi scheme for what, 3 decades?
He was one of the.
Whenever there wasn't computers, till there was Windows 2000, he was running a Ponzi scheme. No one caught him, and the only reason he got caught is because the entire market crashed.
Yeah,
and in crypto, we're seeing it with FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, Do Kwon. It's like all these bad actors and people that are doing unethical things. They're getting weeded out quick, like one after another. And so I think that it's progressing super fast, super quick. And, somewhere down the line, it's going to be the future.
I dig it. I want to share a quick little funny anecdote, and then I got to get off. But I would love to do this because I'm actually really interested in this. And Craigo, is that Craigo? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Craigo.
I'm Patrick. Right. You missed a good spirited debate earlier.
They were going at it. We had side Trump. We had side not Trump. I know you're not really side.
If everyone agrees on something, it's always boring. You gotta.
That's true. I was loving it. I'm like,
I'm gonna start a fight because I get bored. But I gotta get off. But we want to talk about the internet and everything was scammy and fake space. I distinctly remember being like 11 years old, and going on the desktop that was on dial-up and going onto the MTV www.mtv.com chat room, and I made my username Jack Osborne, Ozzy's son. And this is when the Osborne were really popular, and I remember making that and just tricking a whole bunch of kids into thinking I was 11 and I was like, ASL, I'm Jack Osborne, and like, I look back and I'm like, what the hell was I doing? That's so weird. But like,
and we're seeing the same thing in crypto. You can have an anonymous identity. There's some of the biggest influencers, you don't even know what they look like in Web3.
They could be 11-year-old Prime Patrick for all you know.
And there are like 11-year-old, 12-year-old hackers that are really good at what they're doing, and they're getting recruited by the government at an early age, and we have no clue. Like, so yeah, no, it's just the early internet, just a new form of it. And I think it's going to change, the way that we look at currency, the way that we look at collectibles and all that other stuff.
Well, I want to continue this conversation. I don't know if you guys are going to keep talking, but I want to continue next time. I'd love to catch up. If you guys don't mind, drop your links so I can check out some of your guys' content. I'd be interested to see.
Yeah, where do I
don't have content. People just know me as Mr. PP with BDE. So.
Or even just in the comment section would be good.
Oh,
or just for those of you watching, you can follow the High Indian on TikTok. And for those of you who are also watching, you know about Craig's Crypto Corner from the Penny Boys Discord. We have that whenever there is the podcast for Craig's Crypto Corner. There is a little event tab in our Discord, so y'all know all about that already. But
I'm just the guy with BDE in Discord.
Well, everyone knows you, Prime Patrick, Mr. PP, as they all call you in the chat.
Yeah, it's a good time. I love this place.
It's fun. We got into a lot of things. Got the stock. We were talking about GameStop, GME. We were talking about Trump, DeSantis, Biden. The whole TikTok getting banned. The whole night.
It all connects in some type of way.
It really does.
Yeah.
Prime Patrick was giving us some stock alerts based off of if TikTok gets banned. So like, there's always some money to be made no matter what the news is. So that's why I like having these conversations here off of the Penny Boys YouTube channel, talking on Metamat TV, where we can say whatever the fuck we want. We can curse. We do, it's not going to be as that's why we're in the lounge in the Discord, the NSFW lounge.
Matt, fuck the video games. Let's just do this shit every week.
That's what I'm saying. Here's the deal. So the High Indian, and Craigo, before we were we're doing a stream every day. And this Tuesday's stream, we're thinking, we'll do video games, like a chill session, we'll just talk about current events. And I realized, Patrick, I don't really play any video games. How are we gonna do this? Is a really bad idea. And so, I think we should just turn it into this. We'll bring in a few guests and have them. I'll bring some Trump guests and have them just go up against you, Prime Patrick, each week.
I can debate anything. I just love. I'm very spirited about pretty much everything. So
I'm always down to play the antagonist. So
by the way,
or devil's advocate or whatever.
Even if I don't really take the contrarian view, I will argue the contrarian view because it's the only way that we grow and figure things out. So.
What's that, Craig?
I was going to say, by the way, I'm going to dox my son. He's 6 years old, and he's the biggest NFT project owner to date. All right, Jacob Oshman, just so you know.
Yeah.
It's so funny, though. High Indian makes a really good point. The influencers that are out there that run the show are the ones you've never heard of. So, it's good to hear from you, Prime Patrick. I'm definitely going to connect with you on Twitter. And High Indian, I believe I've spoken with you before.
I'm actually not on Twitter at all. I'm the worst youth.
He's a Penny Boys guy. Remember, we don't do Twitter over at Penny Boys.
I don't know if I can consider myself a youth anymore, but I'm on Discord and I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
You can write me a letter and send it to me.
Facebook. Yeah. I'm not writing
you a letter. I'll give you my email and my address. He says. Give him the snail mail.
I'll get a Twitter or something. I'll go to Kick. I'll make a Kick.
No, go ahead and make a Twitter. It's probably gonna be a lot better for you. I think you as long as you don't get addicted to it, I think it'll be good for what you're doing. It's a good way to keep up financial Twitter or FinTwit, whatever you want to call it, crypto Twitter, financial Twitter. I think they get news the fastest. Before you start seeing it on the news outlets and stuff like that, people are already picking up wind of it on crypto Twitter. And so,
I really do got to get off. My wife is going to kill me, but it was great talking to you guys. Matt, I'll holler at you later. Hi, Indian. That was a lot of fun, man. Crango, let's catch up, brother.
For those of you watching, I know the majority are from Penny Boys. You all know Prime Patrick, but this is Craigo from Craig's Crypto Corner, the High Indian, as you all already know. That was a lot of fun. We've been on for 1 hour and 20 already. Is there anything y'all want to talk about before we wrap this one up? I already went through all my top. We went through a lot of stuff. Correct?
Yeah, we did. That hour
came a little bit early.
By.
I know you had the kids and all that though. So
Yeah, I was tucking the kids in. I'm so sorry, Miz. I got the text from you like, like 8:20, and I'm like, oh man, I want to be on here. I want to hear what's going on. And I think this is such a smart move to go to StreamYard and do something after hours. You just plugging everybody in from all platforms?
Yeah, I'm just like, see like who's around kind of deal.
Love
It was
it.
like very last minute. I just like
Let
DM
me
the high
ask you,
Indian.
what was the thought or the consensus around DeSantis's position on not directly commenting on Trump, but yet taking a nice little jab? What was the neutral thought
Well,
on that?
that was
Was
a
there a
pretty
thought?
decent. That was a decent jab, actually. Well, I mean, Trump
Very
actually
good
took a
one.
jab at him first, though. Like with the MAGA
Oh, he's
ink.
been on him.
This MAGA ink, they were trying to get. I believe they were like calling for him to get like put out of office. For the early campaigning, basically. Ghost campaign. But hi, India. I know you are on. Oh, like, do you lean left or right? 'Cause I know you said you were Clinton first, and then you're just kind of in the
Conservative,
middle.
right?
Or
Right
that's
now,
fair.
right now, heavily conservative.
That's
So
fair. So
yeah,
what do
yeah,
you
yeah,
think about
right leaning.
DeSantis and Trump going at it as opposed to singing Kumbaya against
I think
Biden?
that's why, like, sometimes the Republican Party just pisses me off. Like,
Yeah,
why
that's what
can't
you're
they just
saying.
get along to try to, like, actually, like, do what they're supposed to do? But I think DeSantis handled it pretty well. He came out there and he said, we know that this is a political performance. It's a witch hunt. We're not going to have any involvement on either side. So he's not going out to defend Trump, but he's also not letting New York, have their way with whatever they're trying to do. Which I find pretty like irrelevant. Like, why is New York doing this? Like, just go worry about all the other people that y'all need to put in bars and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think DeSantis handles himself very well, and he's not crazy, but like rambunctious. Like, he knows how to compose himself when he's speaking. Whether it's about things going on in Florida or just things going on in general. Like, if you have Gavin Newsom, I feel like he talks about conservative states and berates them more than he actually does things for California. And so I think DeSantis does a pretty good job at just remaining neutral when it comes to Florida only. And beyond that, until he starts running like for president, or when he does eventually run for president, that's when he'll probably take that step forward. But I think he's a great political candidate. I'd love to see him as president, but I don't want to see Trump and DeSantis go against each other. I feel like it would be counterproductive, and I feel like it would just open up the doorway for Biden to win, like, straight up.
Well, that's
You
what they were.
think? Wait,
Yeah.
you guys think that Biden will be in for another semester? And by the way, I'm going to tell
I
you
hope
something.
not. I hope not.
Yeah, I would say in a lot of ways, in a lot of times, Matt and I have talked a lot about this. I'm a libertarian, meaning just have your views. I would also say I have a lot of conservative views as well. But I'm one that just let people be who they are, because when they scream, "Oh, you're freedom, and we're gonna do this, and this is our movement," okay, do your movement, whatever
Do
it
your
is.
thing.
But just let me handle my home the way I want to handle it with my wife, and
I
you
agree with
guys go
that.
about your business. You know.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I think this is all interesting. I mean, I remember back in the Biden and Clinton when they were going at it. They kind of I mean, sorry, not Biden and Clinton, Bernie and Clinton. That whole back and forth kind of hurt Clinton, when it came to going up against Trump, because she just went through the ringer with Bernie, and all this stuff came out. So I think that a DeSantis, like you were saying, a DeSantis and Trump going at it might not be such a good thing for the
The
Party
Republican
as a
Party,
whole.
I don't think it would be
Republican
good for
Party.
them. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think it would
yeah.
be good for the Republican Party, like their side of things. If they go against each other, I don't think it'll be good. I think one of them just needs to bow down to the other, and I don't think Trump's going to bow down. So I think just try to let him get in his 4 years, and then after that, Trump will probably endorse DeSantis. I could see it happening, but that's after Trump gets gets his presidency.
Exactly.
No, it's gonna be interesting.
It will.
Definitely
We're
is.
in for an interesting. How many more years do we have left? Like a year and a half, or
Isn't it crazy how important politics are in our life, and yet how divisive they've been to separate people,
yeah.
and that opposing views can't be appreciated and accepted. It's almost as if you're either this or you're that. And if you're
Yeah.
that, I got nothing to do with you. I mean, that's more times what I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were
It's a
talking about
shame,
that
too.
earlier. Our nation is more divided than ever, and I think it just continues to get more divided. And them trying to arrest Trump, I think it's just going to make things worse than if they were to just leave it alone and, you know, let him run for office. If he wins, he wins. Or if he wins, he wins. If he loses, he loses. So
it's going to backfire. That's like a super leftist dream to watch Trump get jailed.
Yeah, and that's what Elon Musk had said too. He tweeted that you know, if they do get away with arresting Trump, that he'll end up winning in a landslide victory. So you never know. We'll end up seeing, I guess, in like a year and 7, 8, 9, 10 months, something like that. Yeah.
So, but the show must be entertaining before that even happens, huh? Before we hit the voting booths.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Or the mail-in ballots.
It's gonna be great. I think that it's gonna be a lot of hell, and there's gonna be a lot of content to cover, Matt.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm looking forward to it.
What would be like?
Do you think they'll ready
this week for Craig's Crypto Corner at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays? And they'd be like,
ready.
"No, Craig, I have too much content to produce from the show we call politics."
There is a lot. I mean, that's the one thing about doing these shows. Like every time I do like a podcast or this, that, whatever, I do 5 lives a week now in Penny Boy Stock Alerts. It's like every time I do it, it's almost like just adding another video to the editing, the shorts playlist, because now everyone's turning all their long content into short form content because nobody has attention spans. So it's just part of the game. You know the
and there's no shortage of content. You could literally hop on Twitter and go to that trending list, pick something, and roll with it.
Oh, that's literally what I do. I literally just go to Twitter, go to the trending, literally just go to trending. I'm like, all right, here we go. Well, what are we going to talk about today?
That's
it's
all you have to do.
By the way, did you guys talk about masks? I mean, I know I'm late to the game because I was tucking kids in, but did you guys talk about sort of masks and what's going on with that? Why some people wear them, some people don't, some people at the mouth, some people leaving their nose out.
I'm pro-choice. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask.
Me too.
And like, you know, the opposite side, like, you know, the people that don't wear masks, they're like, why are you still wearing masks? Like, COVID is fake and all that. People wore masks before COVID. Like, if you ever went to a casino, you would always see Asian people wearing a mask. Like, it doesn't and in Asian cultures, they would wear masks. If you walk around China and, you know, Japan, people would wear masks before the pandemic. So it's not like something that just came out the blue.
Well, but not Americans though.
Yeah. Okay. Not Americans. Yes. But you know, if someone wants to wear a mask, let them. If they don't force them to. And you know, don't feel like they need to wear a mask or judge them. It's the same way I feel about vaccinations. Like, if you want to go get your COVID vaccine, go get it. If you don't. Just stop bitching at each other about, you know, whether people should be getting it or whether they shouldn't be getting it. And masks, same thing. Like, either wear one or don't wear one, and just keep going about your business.
But there's a time where if you had said this, right? Isn't it funny when we go back at certain points in time and how the news indoctrinates or programs people? If you had said that, we would have been, not me, been like, that's so irresponsible of you. You got to go get your mask, wear your mask.
Oh, it happened to me,
right?
1 year, because I got into Web3 a little over a year ago now. And prior to that, I was just making conservative content. I was talking about immigration, Republicans. And when the pandemic hit, I was like, fuck these masks. I live in Texas and I live in a really small country town. And, you know, we still had places that required wearing masks out here. And, you know, a lot of them were even like Republicans and conservatives. So I got a lot of heat for it. I would say it, and they'd be like, oh, you're irresponsible. You're not doing your part to, you know, prevent people from getting sick and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I did, because I didn't go out. Like, I just stayed at home like I normally do. And if I did go out, if they required me to wear a mask, I'd wear one. No big deal. Like, if I got to go grocery shopping or go to my haircut appointment or whatever, I go put it on real quick. But, you know, if I walked into a place and there was no requirement to wear a mask, just taking it off and going to do whatever I normally was going to do.
Yeah, I don't care this way or that way. I personally, as long as if you're going to require a mask, just have it available for me, because I don't got one on me.
Exactly. Yes. If you're going to make me wear a mask, you have to provide it
for free.
Right. Well, Patrick Bet-David said this, right? He goes, if you walk into a business and they tell you got to wear a mask, I agree with him. It's their business. Put that mask on. But if you're in your home or you're outside or you're not in their business, it's your business as to what you want to do.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. If you own a business, you have the right to tell the customer whatever the hell you want. What's the thing? We hold the right to refuse service to anybody. I have a big old sign of that in my smoke shop. Like, if I don't like you, like, I don't have to sell you shit.
Like, this is my house.
Yeah, and so if you got like, I didn't care when the pandemic happened. Like my smoke shop stayed open, and people came in with masks. People didn't come in with masks. It didn't really matter to me. We put up a glass screen because I wasn't taking no risks either, because I saw people were dying. Like, that wasn't fake. Like, people people were passing away from COVID. It was mainly, people with autoimmune diseases, or, heavy set obesity, or, factors that had to come into play for them to get sick. So I knew it was real. I never had COVID personally. I've been tested like so many times, but I never managed to get it. But I put up, little glass screen, so that way if I was really close to a customer at the register or whatever, I didn't have to, have their breath coming on me. But, however much that helped, because if they handed me money, then I'm like, they might as well just remove the screen, because you just handed me cash money that was sitting in your
pocket. If you go like this,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so one way or another, I mean, we did the best we could, I guess.
The irony I would find is when I would see someone, usually older or who was heavier set, smoking cigarettes, and they'd be like, and put the mask up, and I was like thinking to myself, what about the cigarette? What about lung cancer? What about all these years of unhealth? You're worried about COVID? Interesting.
And that's you bring up a good point nowadays. Like, it's really like, they're pushing all this stuff for us to be healthy, but then we walk into our grocery store and everything's filled with high fructose corn syrup. Everything has corn in it somehow, some way. And like, whatever we're putting into our bodies, whether it's fast food or even just canned products, or, they label everything as organic now, but you could really just slap a sticker with organic on anything. There's not really this is organic. Like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense, like that label that people like use, it's like, oh, this is organic. It's sometimes it's not really organic. They just it's marketing. It's good marketing.
All marketing.
Like my friend tried to. I was playing Call of Duty with my buddy the other day, and he's like, these organic gummy worms hit. Like, he was saying that they taste really good, and I was like, organic gummy worms? Yes. Because that's going to be much healthier than regular gummy worms.
Well, the thing is with yellow number 5 and some of the other dyes, it can be a lot worse.
Yeah.
But it's sort of
like,
at
the end of the day, it's still just a bunch of sugar.
Exactly.
You can only get
this is cool. I appreciate you guys letting me hop on. I'm going to just stay in silent mode, but I'm just so glad just to pop on last minute and just hear what you guys have to say.
No, it's great having you up here. I'm probably about to hop out too.
Yeah, I was going to say the same
hour.
Yeah, we were going to go for an hour. We're on an hour and a half, but as Patrick writes there in the comments is saying, that's Patrick from he was on the stream earlier. This was a blast. The High Indian, this is awesome having you on. Yeah, I know we had you on for about an hour there talking about Trump, talking about TikTok.
I love talking, and so I try not to be rude, so I'll never interrupt anybody. So
it was great. Y'all had you and Patrick had very different opinions, and it was nice.
But we were able to both get our point across, so
without hating, without hating each other at the end of it. Now we're gonna hopefully have you on for another one. Like some people they disagree, and then all of a sudden they can't ever talk and they can't be friends. I don't agree with that.
I absolutely hate that. Like, no, I have plenty of friends, like close friends, that I disagree with on a lot of things. But at the end of the day, we're friends. Like, we should be able to get over that bullshit. So no, whenever you want to have me up here, just let me know. Whenever you have an open spot, I'm down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we do these every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then Friday, if you want to hop on, we get a 3:15 p.m. Eastern. That's more of a market stream. No Trump talk or anything like that. It's strictly crypto and stocks. But I know that you're very
I keep up to date on. I try to keep up to date on, like, in my bio, it's sports, politics, Web3, and gaming.
Oh, sports. Next time I got to get another, because I was asking Patrick, like, do you I have a bunch of sports? Because basically what I did, Craig, is I brought all my Metamat TV scripts and just topics, and we just basically went down like a line basically just with them. And I had a bunch of sports one, like Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, and some stuff I wanted to talk about.
I'm ready for that stuff.
Next time I'm going to bring that up with you then. There we go.
I love sports. I keep track of almost every sport. It doesn't matter. So
I personally don't, but I know enough where I can talk the talk a little bit here and there.
Yeah. Hi, Indian. I'm going to catch up with you and MetaMat. I will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, wait, sounds good, Craig.
In the metaverse. All right.
And Matt, I appreciate you having up here. I'll catch you later too, bro. Yeah, I'll definitely try to hop in on Friday, if not Tuesday for sure.
Definitely. And thank you for everybody who is watching. And until next time, as always, we hope that you all make some bread. Is Donald Trump going to